Vag, vag, vag. What you gonna do when it's hot outside? Ooh, I know what. Listen to Vag. What you gonna do when the trains are down? Ooh, I know what. Listen to Vag.
No, I get it. I know what you were gonna say. We got another email from Mallory.
Great. Oh, I love Mallory.
Yeah, she's great. She said, "Hey, thanks for continuing to make content during these fucked up times, and thank you so much for putting out merch. I should be receiving my shirt in a couple of days. I'll try to tag you guys when I get it." Oh, thank you, Mallory, for buying a shirt. That's really nice. She said, "I have a question for the podcast. Do you guys believe everything that the media has told you about Corona? Have you heard of any conspiracy theories yet? Thanks for always keeping me laughing." There's a bunch of conspiracies out.
I've only heard about maybe that this was lab created in China.
I've heard that like China created to take us out.
But they took out the whole world.
Well, I mean, maybe they were trying to take everyone out. Because now isn't China supplying everything to everyone?
I guess. Probably those masks.
Masks, those ventilators.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me because it's like if this can happen, it could happen again.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, they've always been. There was a video of George W. Bush talking about there will be a pandemic, and when it happens, we won't be ready. And he was saying that in 2006.
I mean, well, he was right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was going to happen, just being all that. That's how history is, and it would probably make the most sense rather than like dealing with global warming just yet, that it's more likely with the pandemic. But I don't know. I guess I just never think we would have dealt with it just the way that we have been dealing with it.
Yeah, I mean, it also didn't help that I guess I read something somewhere about how they tried to do like a practice pandemic run last year. And we failed miserably. I have to see what it was called. Because I was up this is when I was in a wormhole just reading everything. If you Google... I don't know where it is right now.
I just know there were... Because I read this article about H-E-B, which is a grocery store supplier in Texas. And they knew this was going to happen, and they started preparing for this in 2005. So they've been really good about supplying groceries to people around Texas, and also the ability to pay their employees. They gave them all raises during this time period.
So what is it? Like a store? What kind of place is it?
It's a huge grocery store.
What's it
called? In fact, it's like their grocery stores are like the best.
What's it called? H-E-B?
H-E-B, yeah. They're like in Austin and they're all over the place in Texas.
Yeah, my friend. When I go to see my friend, she says that they're there.
And then some of them are doing where you call in with the groceries or order online, and then you can go pick them up on the sidewalk. So you don't have to go in. Where I went online for my grocery store down the street, and they have the option, but then they said they took it off during Corona, and I was like, you should have it on during Corona.
Yeah, that's really dumb. Why would they do that?
I guess when I asked the managers yesterday, they were saying that they don't know what they would have in supply, and so they just didn't feel like dealing with the inventory.
Well, Amazon that has been delivering groceries and stuff, they haven't been doing... I don't know if they're just trying to restock or they're going to stop doing it, but they have not been able to like process orders for days because I've been checking.
Yeah, because I was like, we should start ordering groceries online, and then I looked around and I couldn't find really anything. Yeah. So I was just like, okay, we'll just go with gloves and a mask and then try to wipe everything down.
That's what I've
been... But I don't know how you wipe down onions.
I mean, you usually don't use the outer layer anyway, but yeah, I've been ordering stuff and then like Lysoling the boxes and then Clorox wiping everything.
Yeah, I'm tired of doing that. It's so annoying.
I know, but I'm trying to look up this pandemic, what it was called.
The test run? Did they just give it a fake name?
I think so. Well, when Trump got into office, he fired all the people that were like the emergency, like people to deal with this.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see. I forget the name of it.
He's so crazy. Did you see that lady that they asked her why she's still going to church? I think this was in Louisiana, and she said that she's fine because she's covered in Jesus's blood.
Jesus' blood has corona on it.
I know.
So this was in the Post. It said the outbreak of the respiratory virus began. Okay, so this was the test run they did last year, and it was supposed to be a virus that began in China, and it was quickly spread to the world by high. And it started with high fevers in the U.S. It was first detected in Chicago. This is like the fake virus. And 47 days later, the WHO declared a pandemic, but it was too late. 110 million Americans were expected to become ill, leading to 7.7 million hospitalized and 586,000 dead. It was called Crimson Contagion, and imagining an influenza pandemic. It was simulated by the Trump administration, and it ran from January to August. And they put this in the Times, and nobody really even picked it up.
I don't even remember recalling.
Neither did I.
It
It said that the report just drove home how underfunded, underprepared, and uncoordinated the government would be for a life or death battle with a virus that had no treatment. So basically, even in this test run, we failed, and we still did nothing. It's so crazy. And this was in the Times.
I know part of it sometimes when I hear about how the government handles stuff, you're like, am I the government? Because this is exactly how I handle stuff. It's just so weird that we're always told to be prepared. And then you're like, why should I be prepared? You guys aren't even close to being prepared.
Well, I think they're just kind of expect it. It's kind of like when your parent says something but doesn't follow through with it. And they're like, well, I told you. I was hoping you were going to take this seriously. And you're like, well, you're supposed to be protecting me. And they're like, well, we're not. It says in 2016,
we were just hoping that you would follow through.
Yeah, the Obama administration produced a report on the lessons learned from battling Ebola. And in January 2017, outgoing Obama administration ran an extensive exercise in responding to the pandemic. And then Trump's administration, they just fired all those people that were the pandemic, whatever, emergency people. And he fired them as soon as he got into office.
Yeah.
This is going to be nuts.
Not a great business guy.
Well,
I don't think he's that great of a business guy.
No, I mean, he claims bankruptcy on all his businesses. I don't know why anyone thought he was going to be a good business person.
I know. It's the only thing I find I just find him amusing, but the rest of it's just crazy. When you watch his press briefings, he does them at night now, so he doesn't compete with Cuomo. And then he also finds out what Cuomo says, so he can
just
retaliate
piggyback
afterwards.
Off of it.
What?
I said so he could just kind of piggyback off of it and say the same thing.
Well, no, he always is makes fun of Cuomo afterwards, or says that he's not cooperative. And then usually one of them, he was hawking products. He had one guy that had a pillow that sells pillows that was working on masks, and he had his friend talk about his pillows.
Well, I thought
he's talking about.
I thought it was cool that I didn't watch that, but I think it's cool that guy did say he was going to start making masks. I mean, if he's also trying to push his pillows, that's dumb. But if he's at least trying to make masks, that's better.
I know, but it's like a QVC at the press briefings. I love that he's bragging about his ratings.
Yeah, it's first of all, that's not even that higher ratings for everybody should be watching and listening to him right now, and not nearly enough people are. What is there, 300 million people in the United States, and he's getting 8 million? That's not great.
Yeah, we're all on TikTok.
Yeah, and I mean, Roseanne did better in ratings than he did. And that was before she was on her racial tirades.
Oh, yeah. But I do enjoy watch. It's almost like if you recapped it and did 3 sentences what he did, it's just really funny.
I mean, he's just so crazy. I mean, I think this is going to definitely help him tank. There's no way he's going to get reelected now.
I have no idea. His followers are like, they're like cult. They're in a cult. They're crazy.
What about that lady that I got into a fight with, that Trump lady?
Which one was that?
I got into a fight with, so since I had all this time, I was like, I'm going to get into a fight with somebody online because this seems like the perfect time for it. I don't know, how did we get into a fight? Because she told me we should reopen America. And I was like, you think that they should reopen everywhere? And she's like, yes. I was like, do you know what the numbers in New York City are? She's like, that's because you guys aren't cleaning the streets. I'm like, do you think street cleaning is the problem why there's corona up here?
Yeah.
So that's the type of person I was arguing with. And then she blocked me.
Well, those are like, all of a sudden, those kind of people are the ones that whatever they hate, that's what they're blaming it on. Because apparently, like, it's like a great time for the people that hate gays to be like, it's because of the homosexuals blowing each other that's why we got.
Oh, yeah. It is a great time to do that. Did you see the cops that went into Brooklyn to try and break up that Hasidic funeral?
No.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find it and play it. So, I guess there was cops break up a Brooklyn funeral. I don't think you're going to be able to see it. Cops break up Brooklyn funeral for coronavirus victims as mourners ignore social distancing. So it's like a ton of Hasidic Jews in the middle of the street. And the cops are like on their speakerphone being like, you guys got to get out of the street. You can't just congregate here. Let me see if I can find the video of it.
Yeah, well, you're not. I mean, that's the sad part. Like, you can't. Like, somebody, they were talking about, one of their family members died and they had the funeral, but they had to mourn while they were in their car, like a drive-through mourning. Kind of like drive-through weddings at Vegas.
I was going to say like a drive-by shooting.
Yeah.
This is probably the easiest time to do drive-bys. We're all in our cars. It's so weird to, like, in my neighborhood too, I'll see people who have like the windows down there blasting rap music, like leaning really far back in the car, but they have masks on. It's such a bizarre time right now.
I was thinking that it must be a really annoying time for people that like to burglarize homes because everybody's home right now.
That's true, and everyone has masks.
Yeah, and they're out of work. Those burglars.
Although I wonder how far we are. I'm trying to find this video. I don't know that I can find it. But yeah, it's just like hundreds of them standing in the street, and these cops are like, the cops can't even get out because there's so many of them. And they're like, you guys got to break this up. You can't just be mourning in the middle of the street.
Well, I don't want to. That's why I think for the measles hit the Jewish population in Brooklyn pretty hard because they're always together, and they're also, a lot of them are anti-vaxxers.
It is interesting where somebody was like, this is what the world is like without one vaccine. Like, for all these anti-vaxxers. I do hope this kind of stops all the PC bullshit.
Oh, yeah. It's hard to say. I mean, people were going after anyone that promoted Louie special this Saturday.
What's interesting is I did have several fights on that thread also.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I lost about 100 followers on Instagram.
Oh, that's so weird because we were saying that Instagram seems a lot nicer than Twitter. Like, Instagram seems like more like your fans, where Twitter, your stuff even if people aren't following you, sometimes your tweet will show up in their feed. Well, I have that happen all the time, and it makes me annoyed.
Well, I think what happened on Instagram, I think I got a lot of followers who just were following me and didn't know anything about me. Because a lot of them in their profile would be like, praise Jesus Christ, I love him, we're a child of God. I was like, these people don't know what my comedy's like because they're not going to be into it. But this one girl was fighting with me, and she's a comic that lives in Florida, I think. And she was like, fuck Louie or fuck CK or something. And I was like, and I was really mad that day because I was like fighting with my neighbor downstairs because she was blasting her music all day. So I was already mad.
Yeah.
And I was like, why did you say that? I was like, you could have just scrolled by it, unfollowed me, ignored me, but you chose to engage because you want a reaction. Then I looked through her pictures, and she has a picture of Michael Rappaport. And I'm like, and I remember you telling me that he had like been harassing this woman, and had like an order of protection against him. So I was like, so it's weird that you're like judging me. And then like it just went like 40 comments, and somebody was like, I don't know.
Did she say anything? Did she say anything back when you brought up Michael Rappaport? With
no,
the
she
restraining
tagged
order
him
at
in
one time?
it. She tagged him in it and goes, well, maybe he'd like to speak for himself. And I'm like, no, I'm calling you a hypocrite. And then somebody said something like that all they do is see her bomb in Florida. And then she started writing back like she was a black woman and was writing like with claps in between everything, like, come and say that to my face. It was so funny because
Why would I do that? You live in Florida.
right. It's also like I'm not going to take a trip to tell you something to your face when I've already just said it to you.
When I can just say it on Twitter. That's why I like Twitter.
It was pretty funny. Let me see if I can find it.
I watched his special. I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny.
It was very funny. I thought it was like classic Louie.
It was classic Louie.
I think it's like everything. So there was that girl that was like mad about that, and then there was a girl that wrote something that I thought was interesting and also pretty like progressive. She was like, I'm glad you're supporting him. We act like there should be no road to redemption for people. He's a brilliant comic. We need to move on. I'm so sick of this cancel culture. I'm pissed I'm even using that phrase. But there's degrees of violence towards women, and what he did was forgivable. And he's paid enormously for what he did. And I was like, that's like a reasonable person. A person who's like, yeah, what he did sucked, but I think there should be a way to move past it. And he's paid the most out of all of those people. And he did the least most offensive thing.
Yeah. The only one that I'm always like questioning is the one where it was at a work thing where she actually did report it to her bosses. That I was like, that must have been a communication problem. I mean, obviously she didn't like it if she reported it. But my thing is like it happened 20 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know. And I've also heard mixed stuff based on, if that's the same person I'm thinking of, I'm hearing mixed stuff based on it. Because I think, I don't know who it is, and I don't want to say it on here, but if you tell me.
Of course.
I think that girl might have taken her comments off of here, which is upsetting.
The Florida girl?
The clapping girl.
Oh, the one that was like, say that to my face?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, it's on a WTF where that actress talks about the restraining order against Michael Rappaport.
Oh, wait. I thought we were talking about Louie.
No, I thought you were talking about the lady that took a photo, tagged a photo of her with Michael Rappaport.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. But I thought you meant the other thing with Louie when I was reading what that girl wrote about how like there should be a road to redemption. No, yeah.
The other, yeah.
No, so we were just getting it crossed.
So she took her comment down.
No, she did not. Here it is. It's pretty funny. Everyone's like,
what is it?
She sucks as a comic. I'm like, I'm not going to even attack her comedy. I don't know what it is. But it's like, I don't need to attack her comedy when I think what she's doing is shitty.
She was good. I thought she was good.
What? You don't know? I don't think you. I'm talking about the girl that wrote Fuck Louie.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm saying I don't think. I'm not. Because everyone's like, you should attack her comedy. I'm like, I don't know what her comedy's like, and I don't need to even attack her comedy. Because she's the one that wrote Fuck CK. And then what did somebody write? Every time I see you open for someone, you bomb. Pick a new career. And she goes, oh, word? Say that shit to my face. And somebody goes, are you going to fight them? And this other person goes, I wouldn't fight you. You're a small female. You getting all worked up would be the most laughs you ever got. And she got, and then she goes, you don't talk shit online on a private page like that and say I bomb every time you see me perform. Come and say that shit to my face at a show. We'll see.
You know how annoying it is to write out clapbacks?
Yeah. And then I wrote to her, you're upset I opened for Louie, but you posted a pic of a guy who's harassed women to the point they need an order of protection. So I'm asking you how you feel about that since you're the comedy police. And then she just avoided it. And then she goes, oh, she called me sweetheart, which is just like a way of like putting somebody, like demeaning somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And then I sweethearted her back because I feel like that's the way to get back at someone like that. And I brought up the the Rappaport thing, and I said that she's like just dancing around and she's a hypocrite. She never wrote me back.
Well, yeah, I just feel like sometimes if you comb through all these other people that are trying to call out shit, that they're also going to have some, questionable people that they're also hanging out with.
Also, though, if you don't like him, that's fine. I'm not saying you have to like him or his comedy. Just keep scrolling. You did that because you want.
Just don't support him.
Right. You also wanted me to know. You wanted to get into a fight with me. So here's the fight. It's like, just go buy it.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it now, is like, I don't see the point of making other comics feel like shit about the decision that they've made to either support him. That it's just like, if you're not into him, just don't support it. Don't buy anything. Don't follow it.
I think because people still they think that they're like do-gooders and that they're going to be like on the right side of something. So that's why I think they open their mouth and say stuff.
Yeah. I just don't, a lot of them I feel like actually don't have the intention of like helping anybody out.
No.
They're not in a way of like making things better. Like, I think they're just doing it for themselves.
Yeah, I think they want attention for themselves also.
It is quite annoying. But I know Joe put a post on Twitter and got so much shit that he's like, I can't handle it, that he took it down.
It's so infuriating because it's that like those same people would not like that if it was done to them. Like, do you remember all those people that are like the cancel culture? It's like, just don't support it. Why are you attacking Joe?
Yeah.
It's such a dumb mentality.
I know Joe's a good person, and he happens to be friends with Louie, so.
But also, Louie's not a monster. Like, we've already talked about this a lot, but like what Louie did was in no way proportionate to all these other people. So even being lumped in with them
and I don't feel
sucks.
unsafe around him.
No, it's just like, I worked with him that whole week. At no point was it weird. Did he ever say anything inappropriate? It's like, it's just, and that's been my experience with him the whole time, even before all this shit happened. So, I don't know. It's just like that one girl said where it's like, hey, man, like, he has paid. There should be a road to redemption. Like, people are, like, you have to give people I guess, the opportunity to prove themselves. And it's like, well, do you know what I mean? That stuff happened so many years ago.
No, and then the other thing, too, is, like, I mean, it's not like he's on a network television. This is through his own website.
Right, so he shouldn't be allowed to work and support his family. It's just such a crazy mentality, and it's like, in the light of what's happening right now, this is what you're focusing on. They're about to start burying bodies in the park.
And then you want to take down everybody that was on the thank yous.
Right. It's like, why are you going after everybody on there? It's just such a weird mentality right now. And I do hope that it like changes, especially in the light of all the shit that's happening. But I don't know that it will.
Although I did like that Louie misspelled everyone in the thank you, so it was harder to find them online.
That's true. That was very nice. I mean, I'm used to everyone misspelling my name. But yeah, that was actually, maybe he did it on purpose.
I don't know. He did it with yours, John Fish, and then I think Ari's too.
Yeah, sci-fi. I think he spelled wrong, but it's like, I get it. I don't know. Everyone misspells my name. I'm thinking of just changing it.
Well, I do have this thing. Anytime I make a video and then I have to tag people or like give credit, it is one of the more annoying things that I have to go look up everywhere to know the right way
to spell their names. I get it.
To spell names. Well, I like to be respectful, but at the same time, you want to just like fucking type it out and then upload it and don't think about it. I just hate doing the research.
I get it. Yeah. Especially, I think one time I went to tag you in something and I tagged, I think, Sarah Tiana.
Yeah.
So I had to take her out. Like, I've done that before. I'll tag the wrong people and stuff.
Yeah. It's just, like also, trying to find somebody's Twitter handle. You're like, and sometimes they don't go by their name. So you're like, it's really hard to find them.
Especially if it's like Crunchy Rocket Launcher. And you're like, that's not close to your name at all. Why would I think that's it? Guys, email us. Tell us what you're doing.
This is the right guy.
I know. Tell us what you're doing and keep staying through this time. I know you got to go because Joe has to get on. We appreciate you guys listening. Check out Vag. We have some
Buy our merch. I'm figuring out how to do Patreon Live. Mike is going to help us with that.
Oh, yeah. We're going to do a live Patreon. We could even do like one a week once we figure that out.
And we made a video posted up this week just letting you know that we will do Zoom calls or hangs with people that want to pay money.
Right. So it's a half hour, $50. So if you guys are into doing that, we could talk about no dirty stuff. Somebody did. I think Starla wrote to me and said she'd want to do it because she was nice and drunk. I was like, well, I guess that's as long as you keep it clean and, you know, you can be drunk if you'd like. That's how you want to spend your half hour. But we're going to post that stuff this week. Thanks for supporting us. Send us questions, vegpodcast@gmail.com, and follow us on Instagram. And thank you for all of your nice reviews. Yes. We've read all of them. I go through it once in a while, and they're really nice.
Yeah, they're so nice. Love them. And always review us on iTunes. That helps us push up the charts.
Yeah, and if you have any things that you want us to watch to review, let us know.
All right. I think that's it.
Yeah.